Hey, what's happening, YouTube? Welcome back as I taste another beer. Today I'm going to take a look at one out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. That is, of course, where Bell's Brewing is located, and this is the Bell's Brewing Christmas Ale. This one is actually a winter ale, considered to be a Scottish ale. Comes in at an ABV of 5.5% and 18 IBU. So Bell's is actually a nice brewery out of Michigan. Has a really good line of beers. If you haven't had any of them, I would definitely suggest you checking them out. And this is one that I just saw recently. I figured, why not give it a shot? Go in and get it open and get it into a glass here. Alright, so we go ahead and we get it into the glass. As you can see, pours out about a 2 to 3 finger head. The color itself, a nice dark, almost reddish copper color. The head itself, slightly tan beige color, has some foaminess to it, a little bit of a frothiness, some good big bubbles in there. So as far as the carbonation can't make out as well. I get it to the light, I can pick it up being a little bit more lively, but the appearance of the beer has a pretty good cloudiness on it, probably about 70% cloudy, so you can see a little bit through, but it has a pretty good murkiness to the color of the appearance. Away from that light, it does give you like a basic copper penny type color as well. Go ahead and get a smell on this one. So the smell on this one is led by the malts. I mentioned I think the IBU is 18 on here, so it's a very malt forward type beer, as are many of the Scottish ales. You get a good amount of sweetness coming out of the glass. You get a little bit of that what I would consider to be like kind of a Scottish type aroma, thinking of like a Scotch whiskey. You get a strong caramel scent that takes place here. Real big amount of sweetness coming out of the glass. Do get a little bit of a floral pine scent on the back end from the hops, but it's definitely highlighted more by the malts taking center stage. Also get a little bit of a smokiness in there too. But all in all, it does produce a nice, pleasant aroma. I myself am a fan of some of the Scottish ales. I don't know if you've had them before or not, what your thoughts are, but I think they actually provide a nice, decent variation to your ales that are out there. I'm going to get a taste. On the taste, I would consider a light bitterness, maybe light to moderate, depending on how you usually like your beer being bittered. I consider it to be light though. Pretty good mouthfeel. The body of it is kind of a light to medium body. As far as texture, do get some slight woodiness in there, but the finish is nice on this one. Get that light bitter going in, but then it smooths out pretty nice where it ends up having a nice finish on the back end, leaving you with some flavors of that sweetness still in your mouth. Has a pretty good average duration for that as well. Not really any aftertaste. You don't taste the alcohol in there. You're not getting, like I said, the astringency. And it does open up some of the flavors in the mouth, which are nice too. Not sure what the pairings might be for food here. I didn't see anything noted out there on that regard. But I can think that it could probably be flexible enough to go with a few things out there, considering burgers as well as seafood or steak, things along those lines. I think any of those could hold up very nicely with this one. You get a little bit of a toffee with that caramel sweetness as well. And then I also get a little bit of that hop sensation in the taste too. So at the end of that finish, you do pick up a little bit of that, I guess you want to say if it's like a piney or hoppy type flavor, you do have a little bit of that in there as well. And I would say overall, a pretty easygoing beer, one that you can easily knock back. Goes down very smooth. Bell's does, like I said, a pretty good job on their beers, so not surprised at all. See what some of the ratings are on this one. Go out to Beer Advocate, and Beer Advocate actually has this one looked at as an 81 for good, so there was no rating from the time from the bros. You go to Rate Beer, Rate beer is a little more harsh. They have it as a 53 overall and a 32 for style, which I think is really low for this one. I think this beer is way better than the 53, and I would actually consider this to be a B as far as a rating. I would give it a B on this one. I think it's solid. I think it's pleasant for the most part. Has that slight watery texture that I mentioned, but I think if you want a nice, smooth, relaxing type beer, you want that Scotch ale type flavor, I think this one can actually provide that. If you like those malt forward type notes and you like to have a little bit of that sweet aroma on your beer without going to, like, say, a porter or a stout, and you want it to be like that ale, I think this one can match up very nicely there. So this is the Bell's Christmas Ale, and I would definitely say give it a shot if you see it out there. Don't know how much longer it'll be since it's already second day, well, first day after Christmas, but pretty soon we'll be into the new year. But if you happen to see it, I would say definitely take a shot, see what you think about it. If you've had it before, let me know, put some comments in the comment section. We'd definitely like to hear some of your feedback. Well, with that being said, I appreciate you swinging by to check out another video. Hopefully I'll be back with another one to share about another beer. And as always, if you like the video, please remember to like it as well. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe if you want to stay up to speed on other videos for going forward. Well, all in all, I'm going to go ahead and knock this out. Cheers. Thanks for swinging by. Look forward to seeing you in the next one.